So, what's life really like when you pack up and move from the US or any other country, in my case, from the United States to Dominican Republic? Stay tuned. We're going to have a one-on-one, just me and Rick. You'll find out. All questions answered. So, we have a total of 10 questions, 5 for Rick and 5 for me, that we're going to ask each other, and we're going to answer as honestly as we can. We're going to be very transparent and
to the best of our
and
abilities.
to the best of our ability, and we're going to keep it family PG, right?
I'll try.
Okay. All right. So I'm also going to be using my tablet so we can keep track of the questions, and that will keep us on track. So my first. Well, it's your
mine.
It's your
mine. I asked
okay,
you.
You asked me the first
Okay.
question.
So the first question would be is what has been your biggest challenge or what you've had to do to get used to living here full time, and can you give any advice on it?
Okay, my biggest challenge has been, of course, adjusting to the language because it's Spanish all day long. It's not like in Florida where, Florida has a lot of a large Hispanic population, but we kind of live in different areas, so I'm still hearing English all day long. But my biggest takeaway has been the culture, and of course, getting used to the power outages. Thank God, though, we solved that very quickly by having the inverters, which I don't know if a lot of people know what an inverter is.
An inverter is a backup power module that you buy portable batteries for it, and you have it installed in your home, so when the light cuts out, it'll automatically kick in, keeping your energy running. It has saved us from a lot of grief.
Yes.
It is expensive for some people. It just really depends on the capacity that you want to have, something that would keep your lights running for at least 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So it's a must-have. Contrary to what some people think, power outages happen, and I can tell you this much:
so it's not fun, especially if it's very hot and you need your air conditioner. So we have ours set up where
it doesn't power the air conditioners because it's not that big, but it does power the fans, the TV, the internet.
Right.
So it keeps us
lights.
Yeah, and the lights.
And the lights, right. So I'm just gonna give a little quickie backstory. When I first came here in 2018, and I rented a nice size house. It was like about maybe 4 bedrooms or so, and I just got here, just unpacked and everything, and then the lights went out. And I was shocked because I wasn't really prepared for that. Nobody told me that. We didn't have an inverter at the time. I didn't know Rick at the time. And I was in the house by myself, and it was not a good feeling to be in a house that big.
And you didn't even have a candle or a flashlight. I didn't have a candle,
no flashlight. I didn't have anything. I was not prepared. And we were out for a good 5 hours. 5 hours. So you're talking about 5 hours without internet, and I didn't have my phone set up with the thing where I could call anybody, and I had no light. So it wasn't a fun feeling. So that's just a little quick story.
That's been one of your greatest challenges.
I made sure after that, I made sure that I never experienced it again. Never. That was not fun.
Yeah, living in the darkness.
No, it was not fun. No. And not really knowing too many people at that point either. So there's nowhere to go, and I just had to stay put. Just sat by the window looking out, made sure all my doors were locked and everything, and no air conditioner too, because nothing worked. Yeah.
Well, that's a start.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's the next question for me of you?
What to do? Okay, I'm joking.
That's recording, you know.
Yes, I know.
So we're gonna have to clip that.
Shut up! That's a blooper.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yours.
I'm asking you.
Okay, so this is question numero dos.
Okay.
So, you went from a working nurse with a regular job to what people would call an entrepreneur, and nursing taught you discipline. And what are your experiences as a nurse? What part of those experiences helped you running a business here in DR? Like, did it help you in any way, and do you have any advice for people who specifically want to try to start a business here? And can you give us some of the stories or the trials and tribulations you went through? Because you had a couple of businesses, all
Yes.
in all.
Okay, one of the hardest things here in DR to run a business is to find good help. That's the major thing, and almost everybody that I've met since then that has had a business has complained about the same thing. Finding people who really want to work and who care about your business just as you do.
So you mean the employee quality?
Employee, yes, the quality of the employee is a big deal, because if you don't have the right help, you're going to end up working in your business, and nobody wants to come here, but especially if you're retired and you're opening a business, because it's not like you really have to. It's just it's really starting a new career, I would say, because now I'm not a nurse anymore. Now I have a smoothie shop, and I have a boutique, so, and a beauty supply store. So I don't want to have to work
in my business, and that's what it felt like. I was actually going to work 6 days a week, opening up at 9 o'clock, closing at 6 or 7. It was work. It was actually work again. So
And what about the employees?
the employees,
Oh God, they came and went. And
They
even
called you. I still remember you told me distinctively that sometimes they would call you the same day and tell you, "Oh, I'm not coming
I'm
in.
not coming in
There's
today.
my cousin is sick or something."
Somebody's
It was
always sick. Somebody's the auntie, the cousin. There's
That's
always
good
a
point,
story.
so. All right then. So our third question for Miss Garcia, it's about financial talk. How people come to DR and say, "Oh, this is cheap. They can spend any amount of money," and that they seem to think that they're not gonna run out of money. Is the first thing, and second is what we know is getting gringoed, or popularly known as gringo taxed. What can you tell us about that? First, about the financial, and then about the being gringoed.
So the first thing I can say about that is you're not on a perpetual holiday. And that's how it feels. Like you're on a holiday every day, but no, if you're actually living here, you're living here. So my first advice would be to make sure that you buy groceries and you start cooking, or you have somebody that cooks. I had a guy, I paid him to come over, and he would cook for me he cooked everything for the entire week, would freeze, and then I just pulled out every day and I warmed up. Because I don't like to cook, and I'm not gonna come home every day, because I was actually going in there every day. And I'm not gonna come home and cook. So yeah, if you start going or ordering food every day, you'll be broke. I don't care how cheap it is. That's one of the main things. You have to remember you're not on an eternal holiday. If you're actually moved here, you have to start acting as if you live here. You have to buy groceries, you have to, cook. Yeah, you can have a day or a night that you want to go out to dinner, that's fine. But every day, you'll run out of money real quick. Another thing is, if you don't drive, like I'm not driving here. Ricardo does all the driving. And where my store was, it was about 45 minutes from where I live. So I would take a taxi there and a taxi back. Until I got a taxi driver that I got to know, and he didn't gringo me. Like, he charged me the right price. I was paying like 1,600 pesos one way. Just to go and
That's
come back.
the equivalent of like 25 bucks, 28, but $28 a day, it was basically 60 bucks just to go and come back.
Yeah.
And he was overcharging you.
Right. And until I found somebody that really gave me the right price, then I kept him. I called him all the time. He would come pick me up. Wherever I went, I would call this one guy. So when you're coming, make sure if you find somebody in the chat groups or whatever, that one person that you can trust. And if you're coming,
you can get with me, because I have all the contacts.
Yes.
I've been here long enough, and I've been gringo taxed long enough, and I have all the contacts. Trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's two major things, because if you add that up with food and transportation, you can rack up a bill at the end of the month.
And I know some people think, well, I'm just gonna rent a car, but think about it this way. Let's say you spent, depending on the quality of vehicle that you're going to think, at minimum you're gonna spend $50 a day just to rent a car. All right, it's no problem. But then you start thinking that you're gonna need a car to move around. You're gonna need to buy food. You're gonna have to pay utilities. you're going to have to like make an actual budget plan before you run down.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And the second thing, which is more towards the north of the gringoing thing, there's always someone you can ask about prices. And you need to lose that feeling of being shy. It's like, oh, I'm going to look cheap if I ask. No, because back in the day, I remember someone that it was only $20 for what he needed to do. And there was this lawyer that wanted to charge him $200. And I honestly, it wasn't my business, but I got angry and I told him why. What are you doing that's worth $200? Oh, well, you know how it is. No, I don't know how it is. You charge him as if you were charging me. That's it.
Yeah.
But if you don't ask, if you don't know, oh, well, it's $500. If they see that you don't even flinch, well, all right, he's got it.
Yeah, that's true. And the gringo tax goes deep. And it comes in so many different areas, like from just going grocery shopping, if you're taking transportation, taxis, where you renting a place, your price is going to be more than a Dominican.
That's true.
That's just the way it is. So what I was fortunate enough is that I had Winston.
Yes.
So Winston was my go-to person. Winston would go in. I wouldn't say a word. I wouldn't even show up. Even if I WhatsApp, sometimes they want to know if you have WhatsApp. And once you give them your WhatsApp number, or you give them your Facebook or something,
and they see that you're a foreigner, or they
profile.
see that you have a foreigner's number,
and then
after
the price
you saw where I was from. And I'm not trying to scare anybody but that's just, it happens. It's just the way it is, and you have to be wary. You really do, because if you don't ask, you will lose money. You will get gringoed, as we call it, and you're never getting that money back. You'll just have the bad experience, and you want to pick your bags and not come back or not want to deal with anybody.
That is true. So it's so important to have a contact person when you are coming. Even if you're coming for an extended stay, it's really important to have a contact person, what they say, boots on the ground, that you will be your front man. Because if not, you will be gringo taxed up the yin yang in every which way, and you won't even know, because compared to where you're coming from, it's a lot less, right? But when you talk to somebody who's a local who lives here, they're going to say, no, that's like 3 times the price. But to you, it's fine. Even rent-wise, the rent could be $400, $500, but for you, it's going to be $9,000 or $1,000.
Yeah, and
but you're going to say it's $1,000. So it's in the States, this would have been $2,000 or $1,500. So it's a steal. No, you're getting gringoed.
All right. So the next question, which would be question number 4, is, it would be a cultural, let's say, not a habit, but something about the Dominican culture that you fell in love with and just can't live without, or you're just so used to it, or you're okay with it. What would be one of those things?
One thing would probably be the whole tranquilo.
The tranquilo time?
Tranquilo time, the island time. At first, it used to frustrate the hell out of me, seriously.
But when you say island time, you mean is when, people aren't tied to a schedule. They can tell you, okay, I'll be there at 5, but they can call you 5 minutes before 5 and tell you, well, something came up. I'm not coming.
Okay, let's use this for an example. The cameras where we live, it's a very new building. The cameras were installed, right? Mm-hmm. The person that was supposed to program them had an emergency. Yeah. We don't know when they're ever going to be installed, because I guess they're still on their emergency. That's a week ago. That's a week ago. So that's how it is here. So we, being from the States or wherever country you're from, we would be totally pissed. We would be on the phone, calling around.
It's like, hey, you promised, or you said.
Or we would just find somebody else over here. No, but I know that guy, and he gave me a good price. Yeah. I'll wait until whenever he's available. In the meantime, you got cameras that are installed that don't work.
Yeah, or like our friend Neto and the other guy that he said he would be here tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, but he never showed up.
I don't even know if he ever showed up. But he's good at what he does, so you kind of like.
And he's dependable. He's dependable.
And he's dependable. But
when you don't set up a date before when he has to show up, but when he does show up, he gets it
He
done.
gets the job. He really gets the job done. But getting him to get the job done, that is the problem.
Mhm.
And it's usually word of mouth. It's a sister, brother, cousin, friend of whatever. You know, it's not like you just went to this business.
Oh no, you go to the yellow pages and
Yellow,
look at
well, they don't even have yellow pages anymore. But I mean, like, you can't. Where are you gonna go? You're gonna go on the internet, or you're gonna go on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. That's even worse.
Mhm.
So you depend on recommendations. So you just have to wait, because you don't know if the next person that's gonna come really knows what they're doing. And then you'll see. Remember when we had something installed, and then when Neto
Came in.
oh, it was a hot water heater.
Yeah.
It was a hot water heater. I smelled something smoking. And I kept saying, something is burning. And
It was just not properly
the
installed.
hot water heater was actually melting the switch.
The wires.
Every
yeah.
time we went to take a shower, the wires started burning. And when we got Neto to come over and check it, he said, oh, this wasn't installed properly.
It's missing certain things.
So, I mean...
Well, that'd be the negative, but remember, it's a two-way street, because since you came from America, you've noticed that you could also do the fact that you could call in, you could just say, it's like, look, I'm not coming anymore. You could take your time to do things. Like, tranquilo time means you also get the benefit of it, that you don't have to rush to get into anything, or to get into a date, or you have to run to be on schedule. And I know it's part of being, you have to be responsible. Well, responsibility is one thing, but you know that the person might not even make it either.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I've never been an employee here, but I know people call in the same day or just a few minutes before their shift starts.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any repercussions for that.
Yeah, some people get reported, they get written up, some people do get fired. But the thing is just like we said in the first questions, is that it's hard to actually get consistent help. So you're going to lose the only good employee just because he messed up once.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, it's a little... My eyes.
Nah, it's a good
It's
thing.
been very hot here.
Yes.
So I walk
So,
around with my...
back to the point.
Yes, okay. What was the rest of the question?
No, the whole point, the culture and what you love about it. You said that you love the island time, the availability to have island time and the
Slower
freedom to
pace.
just
It's
make
so-
your own
and really,
schedule.
It took me a while to get accustomed to that. Like, I was always on the go, even when I was going nowhere. I would get up in the morning, and like, okay, I felt guilty if I wasn't getting dressed to do something. And he would say, where are you going? I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
where are you going?
where are we going? Well, I don't know, but it's morning, and I have to get up and get dressed.
To do
go
what?
Do what? And it took me quite a while to just, okay, I don't have to get up.
To just
I'm
mellow
not
out.
working. I'm not running anywhere. I can enjoy this slower pace without guilt. I have been doing that for so long. I'm so programmed. And now I get out of bed whenever I want to, and I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. You know, and I'll get out of bed, and then I'll go back to bed
If need be.
if need be. So, you know, when you're at a certain point in your life, and I see a lot of people in the States, they retire and they still go get another job because they just don't feel
They don't
like
feel-
they can just stay home, or they can't afford to stay home and just enjoy, you know, retirement. It's because everything is so expensive. So yeah, it's a slower pace, and it gives you that freedom to realize that, wow, I've worked all these years and I can actually now take it easy. My bills are covered. I have money in my pocket. I live in a nice place. I have a car to drive. I'm good. I'm okay. It took
okay.
Yeah, it took a long time. It really took a long
Yeah.
time for me to adapt to that. Yeah.
So the main takeaway is, it might be frustrating at first, the island time, but if you learn to appreciate it, take things slow and get things done at the right time, you will have peace of mind and calmness, all the calm that you will ever need.
Yes.
All right, so the last questions that we have for you is, would you do it again? Would you go through the hardships, the trials and tribulations that you went through to set yourself up here? in the DR?
Would I do it again?
Mm-hmm.
I did it again. Remember, I left.
Oh,
I did go
right.
back. I did pack up, and I did move back to the States.
You sold out all
I
your
sold
stuff.
everything, and I moved back. I just got tired.
You gave up.
I gave up. This was after the pandemic, and I was, I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing, but my son kind of encouraged me to come back, and I went back. And after I went back, I realized, oops, this might not have been the best choice.
Yeah, because you were going back to the system again.
I went right back to what I was trying to get away from. And when I finally, with some
encouragement and help from yours truly,
decided, okay, I'm going to try it again, and we're still in that getting things back,
into the
space, because I sold so much stuff. I spent so much money. I sold it for little and nothing, and coming back, it's like starting all over again. But this time I have Ricardo, and it has been a much easier transition. And I haven't been running back and forth, not in the
You've
last
been here
year and a half.
non-stop for a year and a half.
Year and a half, I haven't been back. I made a promise I was going to stay here for 1 whole year straight, which I did, and it's over a year, so I'm proud of myself. I've been here longer now, so I know the system. I know how it works. I don't think I can get gringoed as easily as I did before.
As a matter of fact, people confuse you with the Dominican most of the
I'm
time.
Dominican. The only thing that I would say would complete the process for me would be if my Spanish would improve. I mean, like if I were fully bilingual, it would be such a smooth transition. But I'm struggling.
Yeah, well, I think that one of the takeaways that people need to understand is that this is paradise, but you have to make it paradise. It's not just a paradise that it'll be paradise since day one. No, you have to adapt. You have to put your own 2 cents in order to turn it into your dream living. Because you see, even though you have the limitations, language, you have me. And sometimes you're over dependent on it because you've had full on Spanish conversations. You can understand 100% what everybody's saying. You're just a bit shy.
Yeah, shy to speak.
Yes.
Because I know that it's going to sound like broken Spanish.
No.
And me being the person I am, I'm sort of, I wouldn't say a perfectionist, but I want to, when I'm doing something, I like to do it right.
Correct.
And I realize I have to stop. I have to get out of that mindset. That's just a mindset.
That's a mindset. So yeah. So that's it for your question.
That's it for my question, so it's my turn to grill you.
No. All right.
All right. Now, Rick, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I know you'll be as transparent as possible. Right?
Yes, I'll try to answer it at the best of my abilities.
Okay, great. Now, you've been a police officer for 14 years and now a practicing lawyer. What did you wish foreigners understood about the Dominican legal system before they move here?
Well, that's a bit of a tough one, but I think the main thing that they have to understand is that when they're going to do any kind of documentation, being a lease, buying a car, buying land, whatever it is, any kind of transaction, first is properly documented is the first thing, and make sure that they have it both in the native language, which is Spanish, and in English. And much like we said before, have someone verify. Trust, but verify. Don't go in just thinking, oh, this is a great deal, it's cheap, I'm gonna buy it right away. You never know what's hiding under those papers or under those pages. And there, just like in the States, there's an Office of Public Information where you can get the information that you need. So always be wary before you do any big moves, anything that involves money or a big transaction. Always get a second opinion. Make sure that you get the lay of the land. Ask around. There's no shame in consulting.
Right. That's great. Okay, so the next one is safety for expats. What's the one thing that instantly makes a foreigner a target, and what can they do to avoid it?
Okay. Well, the first thing that I would say is how they act. They seem to be way too comfortable in the surroundings. Like they have their guard down. You know, like when they act like, oh, this is just a walk in the park, I'm just gonna do. That makes them a target easy. And let's say you lived in New York from time to time for a long time, and you know how that works. Like you can't be holding a purse, you can't be wearing a golden chain or holding your phone next to the street. Now, I'm not saying that DR is to the level of New York. I would never say that in the sense of crime, but crime does happen. If you make yourself an easy target, you will be targeted. Now, the second thing is keep your conversations to yourself. Like, don't speak too loudly, even over the phone, because more than you think, there's people listening in, people who can speak English and understand the language. And if you're talking about, let's say, going to get money, going to the bank or whatever, people will target you like that. And that's another thing. Showing off money, that you have a lot of money, that you have a lot of cash on you, that immediately makes you a target. It doesn't matter where you are. And sometimes dressing casually, I know you're a tourist or you're just doing tourism, you're wearing khakis or whatever, but sometimes just dress regular. Don't try to dress way too show offy, because they're gonna know you're out of place. And before you go to any places, make sure, again, do your research. Ask about it. Like if you're heading to Santo Domingo, which areas of Santo Domingo can you go to as a tourist? Is it safe for you? Is it unsafe? Because there's places, even for me being a police officer and a Dominican, that I would never step into, even uniformed, because those are red flags. I'm not gonna say they're ghetto neighborhoods, but they are neighborhoods where you can't even step in without the proper lay of the land. And we've met, or we know some people that are in social media, foreigners, is like, oh, I chill over here, I chill over there. Trust me, they have a front man that's already giving them the lay of the land, or that's with them, making sure that nothing happens to them. It's not just, oh, I got here today and tomorrow I'm gonna go to the deepest ends of Nagua and nothing's gonna happen to me. No, stuff happens. It really does. So that's one of my main, let's say, advice that I can give them, that to be careful, not at all times, but to do not make yourself an easy target.
Mm-hmm. And don't be, I would say from my experience here and people that I've met, don't be too trusting of people that you feel now are your friends, because they'll be your friends, but there might be a an agenda.
Yep.
So you always have to just pretend that you're back home and you live. This is how you live. You're not gonna just befriend a stranger and now they're your best friend. But I think when people come here, they get so comfortable, whether they're on an extended vacation or they
But when they spend money without thinking about it twice in front of someone else.
And people are always watching, because you are in I wouldn't say a third world country, you are in a developing country. There's a lot of people here that don't have a lot. And you're out here and they look at all foreigners as being rich.
They see $20 and they think, okay, this guy is rich.
Everybody's rich, and they don't know that you're not rich. You're just an average person that saved some money. You came over here, but they don't see you that way, because according to them, you're on this level.
You're a gringo.
And you're a gringo, so you have access to money. So you have to be really careful. So question number 3, and I think this is a very important question, especially for people who are relocating here.
Okay.
Cost of living. When foreigners complain that life is too expensive here, which is here, Dominicans agree, or do they roll their eyes? This could open a fun debate about local versus foreign expectations. So there are foreigners who have said, prices have gone up.
Yes, they have.
Since the pandemic. What was the apartment was $400, now it's $6 or $8. So they'll say, oh, it's expensive, but compared to where they're coming from, it's still inexpensive. It's still livable. You can still live here on a
but you want the Dominican take on it as to if
do the Dominicans really feel like what are they talking about?
Look, this is the way it goes, because you see, for instance, where for you it's a matter of a standard of living. You have to have certain things, like hot water, security, good light expectancy, and the expectancy in the sense that no power outages. It has to be a calm neighborhood. It's out of the ghetto. So this is the thing. For a regular Dominican to get, let's say, a 1-bedroom apartment, with a single bathroom, a studio, and it's in the ghetto or in a regular place, the price would even range to $150. And you would think $150 for a studio, but it doesn't bring hot water, so the light most of the time is out, and you got noisy neighbors. You got a whole bunch of, caveats to it. But if you're Dominican, you don't care about it. So when you hear someone say that it's expensive, $500 for an apartment that's 3 bedrooms, has a pool, has a security guard, and let's say it's in Torre Alta, which is one of the high-end places in Puerto Plata, they start saying, if you feel that's expensive, then what do you? I couldn't afford that even if I wanted to. Even if I would have to have 2 or 3 jobs and probably have someone else pitching in order to get it. So it all boils down to income. Like, what is the quality of living that you want to have? Are you really willing to pay $500 to just live in a 3-bedroom apartment, or would you rather pay $200 and keep the other $300 for groceries, for drinking, or for whatever else you want to do? And that's where the line is drawn. It's all about income and where you're living, how you're working. Because You've met a lot of high-income Dominicans that live in houses, mansions, and it's not that they work out in the States. No, they work here in DR. They work in, they're bank managers, they're security managers. They have a good income, which is why they feel that they have to live at a higher standard. But you've also met foreigners that say, oh, $500 is way too expensive for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Depends on what your income is.
What the setting is, too.
I always say you don't want to come here and have to live in a lower standard than you
were in the States. Yeah.
But some people come here. Some people, there have been people on the YouTube and whatever that have glamorized. Okay, you can live on $500 a month. Yeah, but what quality
of life are you
having at $500 a month? It's very relative. Hello. So, I would just say it all depends on what you want. Yes, you can find an apartment for $150 and, you can...
And it has a bathroom, it has a kitchen, it has whatever. It has the basics.
It has the basics. But then again...
Where is it
located? And do you feel safe there? And even if you live there, you will stand out like a sore thumb because they will know that you are the gringo that's living there, and you still have more than they do.
It's like your aura or whatever, they'll see it.
You still have more than they do.
Mm-hmm.
So you still become a target, so you're going to have to live behind, either gates, or you're going to have to really padlock up your place. Who wants to live like that? So when you're coming, you want to make sure that this is the right time. This is the right time, and that you have the finances that can afford you a decent life here.
Yeah.
You have the finances.
And
if you don't. Yeah. Think about it, figure out how you can come here. Like, I have been coaching people, doing consults, and there are two ladies right now that want to come.
Yeah.
They want to come. They have good jobs in the States, but they're trying to, I tell them, before you make that move, make sure there's a way that you have an income when you're here. Because it's nothing like, you come here, you run out of money, because then what happens? And we've seen what happens. It didn't turn out too good. Stop, Luna.
Okay.
And then again, I have a friend that was here for a while. She was here for an extended vacation, and she wants to come back. She wanted to come back. It's been about a year now, but she had some savings, a couple $1,000s. But then when she thought about her lifestyle, because she's coming with a child, it would. Will you stop? It will not afford her that. It would afford her the lifestyle that she wants, because she wanted to live a certain way and get a car and all that.
For how long?
For how long? And she would have definitely run out of money. So she deferred coming until she was financially able to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the takeaway I want to leave you guys is this: it's not that you can't. It's not that it's not safe for you to live in that $150 place. Thing is that I would recommend is that you make your time, get to know the people around there beforehand, see what it is they're about and where it is you're moving. Like, what kind of place are you going into for 150? So, yeah. All right, so what's next?
What's the most important Dominican family value that you want foreigners to respect when they move here?
Ooh, okay.
And it's family values.
It's family values. Well, there is one thing that it's overall. Dominican families are always attached to each other, and I would say that in our relationship it's been a difference, but even so, you still see that I have my family involved to a certain degree. But if there's one thing, is that the family will always be in contact. They will come for weekends. They will visit you. So you have to kind of respect the fact that families can even live next to each other in the same place. Like, it was the case for me and you. Literally, my brother used to live a block away from us, and you can get a call at 12 at night saying it's like, hey, this happened, and you're going to see your significant Dominican other just get up and run out. And it boils down to that Dominican families are really united, good or bad. Like, they can have all their problems, arguments, or anything in between them, but they will never cut out their family 100%. And that's something that's just been ingrained in the culture, and that's something that you have to respect. I know it will get frustrating sometimes, because you'll think, hey, so you're my significant other, or you're my husband or my wife, but you pay more attention to your family than what you do. All right, so final question.
If a foreigner told you tomorrow they're moving here, what's the one piece of advice you'd give them that could save them from making a huge mistake?
do your research. Think before you push the button. Find out where it is that you're even thinking of moving. And it's not just I'm buying a ticket and I'm heading to Santo Domingo to move. No. Make sure you know what kind of lifestyle is that you're searching for. If you're looking for a slow, less upbeat, then Puerto Plata would be it. If you're looking for the hustle and bustle of New York, then you're going to Santo Domingo. If you want to have half city, half calm, Santiago, because Santiago is pretty big. It's like the second biggest city in the country. If you want to have like a beach side, then that would be Bávaro, Punta Cana, because it's mostly privy to that, and it's a bit more organized or tailored for foreigners. But if you just jump on a plane and say, oh, I'm moving, and you don't know what you're in for, you're going to get taken advantage of. It's the first thing. It's going to happen. As much as you would like to avoid it, it will happen. You will experience it. Even me as a Dominican, I've experienced certain instances where I've been taken advantage of. Because people like to have one on you. People like money. Everybody likes money. That's why they say money is the root of all evil, etc., etc., etc. So, biggest advice, do your research. Look into where you're going and what you're going to do after you're there. Make sure you plan it all out. And I know plans don't always work out how you want them to, but it's better to have a plan than to just go in and wing it.
Right.
That's my telltale advice.
So you were telling them pretty much plan out what part of the country that you would want. And I would say a part of the country that is expat friendly, foreign friendly, and if you don't speak the language, you might want to be in an area where it's a lot of expats or English speaking, because there's just some parts of the country that if you don't speak Spanish, you are out of luck.
Santiago is one.
Yes.
Santiago, you like, even a friend of mine went there, had a bit of a recreational, went out to a club, went out to a sports bar. He said he couldn't even communicate. Even asking for a beer was a challenge for him. Because over there in Santiago, there's not a lot of foreigners. Mostly foreigners are around Puerto Plata, Bávaro, beach sides.
Right.
So,
if you are, I know this whole, a lot of women are romanticizing this solo traveler thing. It's not, in my opinion, it's not a great idea. It sounds great, but it's not.
Sounds great on paper.
On paper. You have to be careful. You still have to be aware of your surroundings. You still have to know where you're going, and you have to have your point of contact. We've had some instances where expats have had accidents. Some of them, passed away. Nobody could get in touch with their family. There was no contact. There was nothing.
And I'm going to go a bit above and beyond since I already answered the question, but one of the biggest suggestions that we can make for them is to have a fallback of, let's say, a contact web, where if something happens to you, someone that checks in on you at least once or twice, a day, a week, or whatever, because that could save your life. That could really keep you safe.
Yeah, because there's a lot that we hear on the social media, but you, being a police officer, knows a lot more that's not out there in the public.
Yeah.
And we're not saying this to scare anybody,
no.
But he gets the information before it hits social media, the news, whatever. So
yeah, like when something happens, let's say in Sosúa, Sabaneta, or anything, and people say, "Oh, this happened." By the time someone finds out, I already have most of the details because I'm a police officer. You ask, you hear things.
You get phone calls.
I get a phone call
at whatever time of the night.
Exactly.
It's something as simple as
a traffic accident.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna call a name, but something as simple as like, oh, there's a loud music still playing outside. At whatever time.
Can you send a patrol unit?
I'm telling you, he gets those kind of calls.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
All right.
So, to wrap it up, we would just like to say that I thought your answers were very much on point. You didn't sugarcoat anything.
No, same as for yours. You're using your own past experiences, and that's something that we want everybody to understand. DR is a place like any other place in the world where you'll have bad experiences, you'll have good experiences, you'll meet good people, because you will meet good people. We've met a lot of good people around the way. We've also met people that are not good, people that have tried to take advantage of us, people who seem to think that in the long run they'll be better off if they get a quick buck. But there's also, just like a rise, there's always a fall. We've seen a lot of people, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're well off, and then they end up leaving. They end up packing their bags and heading out because they couldn't stick it. So they couldn't stick the landing, as they say. People who've opened businesses, and one bad play, not gonna say any names, but a whole bunch of people were in jail, and he was the only one that wasn't in jail. His business went belly up because of that one action.
Yes.
If you're going to do something, do it. At least be honest about your feelings, or at least tell whoever you're interacting with, tell them to their face with the good, the bad. Be forthcoming with your intentions. Sometimes that'll save you a lot of grief.
So, to wrap it up, we invite the comments. We read our comments and we will respond and keep it.
If you guys
keep
have,
it nice.
yeah, because there are some people who seem to have certain reservations about relationships. Or this is what I'm gonna say. We are doing this for fun. We're doing this to help people not have like the negative experiences that we've had.
Right.
So if you have questions, if you're already here in DR, or if you're planning to come, ask your questions. It's free commenting. If you have any opinions on the video, if you think that we're wrong in certain aspects of our advice, feel free to tell us. Feel free to tell us that, hey, in my case, it's this, it's that, because we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But that's why we do these videos, and we pour our honesty and hearts out so you guys can see that we're not doing this for the quick buck. We're only doing this so y'all have, let's say, a
smoother landing.
Yeah, a smoother landing.
Smoother landing. And we are also a point of contact. If you want to reach out to us, please feel free to
set
send
up an
me
email, message.
We're more than happy to help you out. I will drop my link in the
You'll pin it on the
description.
comments
I'll
and
pin
the
it
description.
so you can get in touch with me. You'll know how to get in touch with me. And if you have any questions for Ricardo, and if you have any questions for me, and we would love to hear your feedback. And if you want if you like this format and you want another one like this, feel free to leave it also in the comments.
And you can leave, like I said before, leave your personal questions.
Yes.
Kind of like these 5 questions that each of us answered. You can have your own questions, your own opinion.
Yeah, leave your questions and we'll answer them on,
we'll make another video, yes. And very soon we will be doing a live.
We're going to do our live.
Yeah, we're going to do our live soon. We've already gone over the 300 subscribers.
Yes,
and
we set that as a benchmark.
Yeah, as a milestone. And we're over that. So very soon, just stay tuned. We will advertise it in our social media. It's not going to be anything grand. It might be 20, 30 minutes, but we will go live, answer questions. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one, everybody. I'm glad you stuck till this moment. So,
and we'll see you on the next video.
bye.
Bye.